Hi there, welcome to Talk Canicross. I'm Janetta George.
And I'm Gail Walker. We're here today to talk all things Canicross, the fun way to get fit with your dog. So we hope you'll join us, whether it's for training tips, dog talk, or just for fun and encouragement. This is Talk Canicross, brought to you by DogFit. And don't forget to hit subscribe and keep in touch with all things Canicross. Hi there. We mostly talk about Canicross on our podcast, but did you know that you can still keep fit by hands-free power walking with your dog? And that's something that we call Canitrekking. Whether you're just starting out on your fitness journey or you're nervous about running with a potentially strong pulling dog, or you just want to have the option to walk, which a lot of our clients do, instead of obviously going straight off and running with your dog, there is an option to walk instead of run. And what we're going to do today is talk about exactly what's involved in Canitrekking so that you know everything you need to know from the equipment side to, how to get started and what's involved. But we do have a little help from a friend, and that's our DogFit Trainer Sara-Jane Ladhams, who covers our Ludlow area. So first of all, welcome, Sara-Jane. It's great to have you with us today.
Thank you so much. I'm really excited to chat with you guys today.
Yeah, it's great to have you on. So welcome to this episode. And I guess just before we start, because obviously we're normally talking about Canicross, and obviously we have our Canicross kit. We're recording this in the summer, so it's a perfect timing really, because a lot of people aren't running with their dogs because it's just been too hot, so they're maybe going to just walking, and that really is what Canitrekking is. And earlier this year we introduced a new Canitrekking kit to our range of equipment, aimed specifically at people that felt they wanted to walk with their dogs. And I've handily just got one here. Anyone that's obviously, if you're listening, you can't see, you'll have to log into the YouTube. But our Canitrekking belt is designed to wear, you could put it over a pair of jeans. It's designed so that you can be walking hands-free with your dog. Super comfortable, super padded, and we sell that as part of the kit, as our kit. So really perfect for hikers and trekkers, and not necessarily people that want to be running. So I'd encourage you to have a look at that. But I'm sure our listeners want to hear how you can get fit and you are hands-free walking with your dog. And really interested to chat more with you, Sara-Jane.
Thanks, Janetta. So Sara-Jane, I think just for everyone's benefit who's listening and watching this podcast, would you mind just giving us a bit of background into your history? How did you get into Canicross, and a bit about your dogs and just your general lifestyle? That'd be really good if you could do that.
Thank you. Okay, so I'm going to rewind quite a few years. I started my career as a teacher, a secondary school teacher, and inevitably in secondary schools you end up sort of teaching lots of other subjects and volunteering for other activities, and I ended up teaching PE on top of my geography classes, and then also doing lots of after school activities with the children at school. And teaching is quite a stressful job as well, so in my free time I was running and cycling and entering like duathlons, that sort of thing, doing lots of park runs and running and that side of things. And then I left the classroom and I actually ended up working for Dogs Trust, which was an absolute dream of a job. It was wonderful. I used to drive around visiting different schools with my dogs in a bright yellow car, teaching children about dogs and then also teaching them how to do maths and English, but it was all based around dogs. So it was just like teaching and dogs. Wow. It was the most wonderful job. I've always been into fitness. It's been a huge part of my life. And whilst I was working for Dogs Trust, I took on a rescue dog called Rosie, who's still with me now. She's 12 years, going strong. And Rosie and I used to do a lot of running together. And so we were doing Canicross many years ago together, not massively, not hugely competitively, but just running and, running in park runs and things like that. And it was fantastic for her because she was a rescue dog. She was a bit anxious, but she was so good at running and she just had the best time running. Now I am a personal trainer, so I have my own personal training business. We live on a farm in Shropshire, so we have lots of wonderful countryside around us, and Ludlow has some great places to to go running off road through the woods. And I also have another dog at home called Sky, who is 2. So she is now my running buddy, and she is wonderful. She loves Canicross, and I've really found with her that the DogFit kit that you guys have, that she really likes wearing that harness. It's really comfy on her. And so we do lots of running, and we joined the DogFit team earlier this year, and we're really enjoying meeting people, meeting new dogs, and sort of incorporating that part of my health and wellness business. And we have also just got a puppy as well.
Oh,
We
you haven't
have.
told us that.
No, I didn't tell you. I kept that one back as a surprise.
Yeah.
So we've got a 14-week-old golden retriever. So obviously she
Yeah.
won't be running for a long time yet, because we don't want them doing running while they're too young. So yeah, we have lots and lots of walking and running and all sorts of things going on in this house at the moment.
Oh, that's exciting. How have the other 2 taken to the newbie?
Absolutely fine. Sky, because she's only 2, she's having a lovely time. She's got a friend to play with. Rosie, who is older, sort of takes herself and does her own thing anyway, and she tells the puppy how to behave and puts her in her place. So yeah.
That's brilliant. I mean, we're delighted to have, obviously, when you came on board, and you've obviously done our training and very much fit the criteria around DogFit trainers. And yeah, obviously you started running classes and everything, which is great. And for obviously this episode, we were really keen to understand more about the classes, and especially the Canitrekking ones, and what led you to maybe starting those classes and the clients that you've got coming along for those. But I mean, you're running all sorts of classes, aren't you? And you're obviously right through to canicrossing. But yeah, tell us a bit more about the Canitrekking classes that you're running.
So what started this Canitrekking sort of process for me really was a couple of things. So in Ludlow, where we live, we have a really good running club, and I am not a professional runner. So I was going along to the running club to learn from some real experts about how to run, because I really wanted to improve my running, become a better runner, so that I was helping my dog as well. So she wasn't having to do so much work. And one of the methods that they use at the running club here is something called the Lydia method, and they call it chatty running. So they teach you to run really slowly, which when I came across that, first of all, was totally out of my comfort zone, because I really was sort of like go and run hard sort of person. And it taught me to slow down. And also it was an opportunity. So they run what they call, rather than a couch to 5K, they call it walk to run. And it gave me an opportunity to meet people who are really never had any running experience before, who were really intimidated by running. And the narrative I was hearing all the time was, whenever I was talking to people about running or talking about Canicross, I would get this sort of inhale of breath of, oh gosh, I can't run. And I was thinking, okay, so this is a barrier for people. They've got this idea in their head that they can't run, they're not a runner. A lot of the women that I work with as well through my business, so I focus mainly on women who are like perimenopause, menopause. And a lot of the time they are feeling really sort of uncomfortable in their body. They feel overweight, and running can feel quite stressful on their body. So this was when I was sort of thinking about, okay, how can I encourage people who do have dogs and are probably walking their dogs to be a bit more consistent with walking, getting out and about. And that was where the idea, where I knew that you guys had this kit for Canitrekking. So I thought, actually, if we talk about walking, it's not going to make people quite so scared, and they're going to feel more confident. And then they can always use that as a platform to then get into canicrossing.
Yeah, that's, I mean, that is always the biggest. I mean, I came to Canicross saying I'm not a runner, but I just want to know that the kit fits my dog, and then I'll learn to run, and then I'll come back. And obviously it doesn't work like that. But yeah, it immediately takes the pressure away, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really interesting what you said about the running club as well, and how they've approached it, and you've obviously taken some learnings from that. So bringing it into your own dog fit classes, can you tell us about some of the clients that you've helped, and how have you approached that? Because obviously they hear about Canicross, they're a bit daunted, so you introduce Canitrekking, but how do you specifically run those classes, and how do you then build up their confidence to actually start canicrossing, if assuming that's what they want to do and there's no pressure at all,
No.
obviously. But I'm just curious how, because that can be a quite nice stepping stone, as you say, walk before you run.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm sure many other DogFit trainers take the same approach. We do this initial sort of consultation, meet the person on a one-to-one basis, make sure they've got all the correct kit. And when you have that initial contact with someone, you can really gauge whether or not they're comfortable running, or whether the idea is a nice idea, but perhaps they're really new to running. So that's where I sort of introduce the option to them of, well, you don't have to go running to start with. And perhaps your dog might not want to go running to start with as well, because I mean, my dog Sky, she's 2 now, but I really had to work with her to improve her fitness and her endurance, because we're a team, aren't we? And we can't, okay, we might feel that we're a bit unfit, but if their dog as well has only, sort of trotted around the block a few times a day, then the dog's probably going to need to work on their fitness as well. So the idea of walking really didn't feel quite so scary to some people. So, and also at this time of year, as you mentioned earlier in the podcast, it's, we're loving the sunshine, but at the moment it's too much for dogs to be really running, and actually Canitrekking is a really good option to do with your dog when the weather's a bit too hot as well. So it's a two, it's got 2 benefits in terms of, this barrier that I think people have to running sometimes, and then also having this other option of, if there's a day where you don't feel like running as well, you can walk to that too. So we sort of have, at the moment, we're going to be starting our classes again sort of in September. I've got a young daughter in the school holidays at the moment, and we're also farmers, so harvest is pretty busy for us too. But come September, we're going to have 2 classes, 2 quite distinct classes of people that want to do the Canitrekking, and I sort of describe it as power walking, well, walking with purpose, and then also the classes for people that do want to run as well.
Yeah.
And when you say with the Canitrekking class, that you obviously say walking with purpose, because obviously it's a bit more different, it's more like, because obviously there's a fitness level involved. Are you going out for a set length of time? Is it are you incorporating commands, anything like that, teaching them how to, get used to maybe progressing to a light jog or anything like that as well? Would that be part of the class?
I mean, it'll really gauge it on who's in front of me, to be honest with you. And if they're very definite that they don't want to run, then I won't introduce sort of jogs and things. Particularly some people like to do the walking if they've got an older dog as well. So that's great. But it depends who's in front of me. I think also where we go in the forests around Ludlow, we've got some really nice tracks that a lot of people are familiar with. And some of them have, got some hills. So we do some sort of power walking up hills and that sort of thing. And just encouraging people to sort of get their heart rate up and feel that sort of breathiness where, their heart rate's up and it's a bit more of a challenge to, get a sentence out, which goes back to what they teach at the running club of, if you reach that point when you're running, that's where you then need to slow down and sort of get your breath back so that you're improving your aerobic capacity. So it depends on who is in front of me. If they feel confident enough to have a jog and they want to, then I'd absolutely encourage that. But the Canitrekking is very much fun but purposeful walking as well.
That's great. Yeah.
No, that sounds really interesting. And also just going back to when you mentioned about working for the Dogs Trust, I mean, that exposure to rescue dogs being rehomed, I mean, DogFit is always very passionate about encouraging people with rescue dogs to look at the sport. And, the first thing with probably, 100% of rescue dogs, I'm sure, when people pick them up from the centre and take them home, you can't let them off the lead. So going out and to be able to, and a lot of them maybe haven't walked on the lead, they don't know how to do that. So being able to walk hands free and start that training process is invaluable. And that's a golden part where Canitrekking can come in, because you've got this rescue dog, you can't let it off the lead. The dog's probably quite anxious, and it's just a perfect segue into that hands-free walking. And so obviously did you then rescue your dog from the Dogs Trust?
Yes, yeah. So I got Rosie at 6 months old. She's we think she is a collie crossed with a Springer Spaniel. So she had a lot of energy, very clever, and she was quite a challenge for her first owners. So that was why she was handed into the rescue.
Oh gosh, she found you. But it's just, it gives you that flexibility of being able to walk your dog, because obviously if you've got a rescue dog, that dog has to go out, and then if it doesn't get exercised properly, it can then become frustrated, and just a bit of a cycle, isn't it? So it's an excellent sort of way to get started. And I think we always say to people, don't worry about coming to classes if you think your dog's a bit barky or your dog's anxious, or because all the dogs stay obviously on the leads and on the equipment. So I mean, Gail's got obviously lots of we both got rescue dogs, but you've always had rescue dogs, haven't you?
Yeah, I mean, I can certainly vouch for that. I mean, all my dogs have been rescue dogs, and I always use my Canicross equipment for hands-free walking, because I've had dogs over the years that can't be let off the lead. I've currently got an anxious dog that can't be let off. But what's good is with the line, because he's also strong pulling, it takes any stress off my shoulders and arms, and I can walk, hands free, and he can still move around and, have a sniff and go, interact with our other dog. So it's a lot easier, and it's less stressful. And I mean, I look back over years, it's things like going on holidays, and when there's, obviously we're living on a farm, but if I was walking through your farm with my dogs, they would definitely be attached. But that's where it's been helpful as well. If they see, not because where I live, there aren't too many sheep. We're not walking in fields with cattle, so it's all alien to dogs.
I would still keep mine on a lead though,
You would anyway, but yes.
Yeah, even though they live on a farm and they're used to seeing sheep and cows and things like that, I still have them on leads around, because you don't know how the animals are going to behave, you don't know how the dogs are going to behave. But going back to what you said, we took all of our Canicross Canitrekking kit with us on holiday to Norfolk, and we had all the dogs on the equipment and going on long walks with them as well. So
yeah. I mean, there's quite a few benefits, aren't there? I mean, it's not just, we've talked about quite a few about anyone who's not ready to run yet, and we actively encourage people not to be put, as you said quite rightly, Sara-Jane, that people shouldn't be put off by the fact that, we talk about canicrossing and, join a class, because there is always a place for everybody. And even when people do our beginner to 5K course, it always starts with, like you said, normally people have a taster session anyway to assess them, and there's no pressure to run. It's just about getting used to the kit and getting some advice. And even if they decide to do the beginner to 5K, they always start with, walking and light jogging. So and then having actual Canitrekking specific classes is brilliant, because then the pressure's off, and it's absolutely, it's such a social sport, isn't it? Because I can imagine a group of people all Canitrekking together and talk and having a chat, but actually getting fit at the same time, which must be pretty satisfying to see.
Yeah, absolutely. And ultimately, what we want is for people to be out and about with their dogs and having fun, and not feel pressured or worried about, what they look like, how their dog's going to behave. We want it to be a fun social event. And people that come to me, they come to me because they want to get fit as a personal trainer. But the best way that they can get fit is to find something that they're going to do consistently. And if they don't like running, then they're not going to go running. But actually, if they like walking, and we can teach them how to walk purposefully and to teach their dogs these commands as well, then they're going to be consistent with that. And then they're going to get the results and enjoy the experience that they want.
I think it is such a great social activity, and and it's ageless as well. That's the other thing. So obviously, as people do get older, maybe they think they've gone past running. I would always advocate keep running as long as possible, but if you get to a stage where your knees are given out, or you haven't got that, then the thing about Canitrekking, it is any age, and sometimes if someone is on their own and they're always walking the dog, actually it's a great way to get involved in a Canitrekking club, really, where you're walking your dogs together, meeting like-minded people, and staying fit and active as well at the same time. So yeah, a lot of our trainers do offer Canitrekking, and sometimes obviously as a starting point people are walking, but they do run separate Canitrekking classes. So yeah, there's lots of people looking to do it, which is really good.
So Sara-Jane, have you got any examples of clients that have come to you that you've introduced Canitrekking to?
Yeah, I mean, to be honest with you, it's a lot of the people that I've spoken to. The people that sort of often find me are people who are sort of going through perimenopause and menopause. They've noticed that they're gaining weight. They want to lose some weight, but they feel uncomfortable running. And sort of one of the ladies that I've worked with specifically, she's tried running, and she's been to personal trainers where they've had her doing burpees and HIIT classes and all sorts of things. But when you are quite overweight, that's really challenging and stressful on your body. And she likes going for a walk with her dog. So it's the perfect thing for somebody who, wants to maybe lose some weight to then think about going running. And I have worked with a couple of ladies locally who sort of I'd known through my extended network, who have really struggled with personal trainers in the past, and who've just wanted to do something that is fun, that they're going to do on a consistent basis, and that makes them feel good and not embarrassed by their body as well. So it's been really empowering to see them actually sort of, get themselves out and about, and just enjoying things with friends and their dogs as well.
Lovely.
Yeah.
It's lovely to hear. Yeah, must be very rewarding for you.
Yeah, I love it. I get to go out and have a chat with people. I mean, we've kind of got the best of both worlds, really, haven't we? So
Yeah. No, absolutely. I mean, you've covered all the main areas, and I think for anyone listening to this that would like to start Canitrekking, start going out and just being a bit more active with their dogs, that they're walking anyway, but in a bit more of a structure, which might never lead to running, might only be Canitrekking, then get in touch with DogFit, and we can put you in touch with the local trainer, because and obviously if you're in Ludlow, then Sara-Jane's it sounds you've got lovely. Yeah, just really enjoyable. So I guess just to sort of finish up, people that are listening to this that are thinking, what are the benefits of Canitrekking? Well, how would you sum that up and encourage them to make that first step?
I think if you're a beginner and you're feeling a bit intimidated about running, then I think it's a really good starting point to get yourself out. Make sure you've got the right kit for your dog so that your dog is comfortable and that you're comfortable as well. And go out, get walking, find your local DogFit trainer as well, because I'm sure you'll have a really wonderful sociable time with them. And then also for those people who are experienced runners, we can't always run every day because our bodies don't really appreciate that. So you can use the Canitrekking on one of your, more gentle days, one of your rest days, as a way of still getting out and about and enjoying some time with your dog as well. So I think you can incorporate, as a more experienced runner, someone who's more sort of, into exercise, I think you can incorporate Canitrekking into your workout routine as well.
Yeah, no, that's I think you said it all there.
Yeah, very wise words. We will. Janetta touched upon that people can find out your more details by going onto our website and looking under classes. And obviously, you have some social media and a website. Did you want to just mention that briefly? And we'll also add it onto the notes when we publish this podcast. So, but if anyone wants to touch you, where's the best place to go?
Thank you. So, of course, definitely the DogFit website to find your trainer. And I cover Ludlow, which is in Shropshire. And I do actually have the way that you can find me is through my podcast, which is Menopause and Motherhood. So that's the best way to find me, and you can hear me talking a lot about dog fit and all the benefits of that on that podcast as well.
Well, it's been really enlightening, and I hope from listening and watching our podcast, people feel, you know, the confidence that to give this a try, because there's no pressure to run with your dog. It's just about getting out, getting fit, and hands-free walking is just as effective and still sociable. It's a great way still to bond with your dog, and you know, just get out and enjoy being, you know, in the countryside with like-minded people. So I think you've done it real justice, Sara-Jane, and it's really nice to hear that it's going really well in your area. And good luck with the puppy. I look forward to fast forwarding in 12 to 18 months' time, seeing how they get on. So thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, ladies.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Talk Canicross. We really hope that you've enjoyed it. But don't forget to hit subscribe so we can keep you up to date and let you know when the next episode comes out. Happy canicrossing.